have you noticed the different treatment Donald Trump gave Putin, president of Russia, and Zelensky, president of Ukraine? It is just plain as day. It's clear to see where his respect lies, even though America likes to paint Russia in a bad light, talk about Putin as if he's this horrible leader. But when it comes down to it, when these leaders travel to the US, the way they were treated is different. This is how Putin was received. As you saw, red carpet was laid out for him. Trump went to the airport to receive him and went in the same car to drive him to where they're going. But Zelensky came to the White House and he was treated from the door. Watch this clip. At the very least, this time around, the welcome looks warmer, because the last time Zelensky visited the White House, he was not treated well at all.
We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President.
But if you think Zelensky didn't get the best treatment because he was received at the White House by Trump at the door, I have worse treatments that I can remind you of. Do you remember when African leaders traveled and how they were treated in the UK? That's what it reminds me. I believe they traveled for Queen Elizabeth's funeral.
Several photos have surfaced on social media networks showing Africa's head of state, including Kenya's President William Ruto and Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu, being transported on a bus to the venue of Queen Elizabeth's state burial at Westminster Abbey in London on September 19th.
As you saw, they were packed in a bus, and that's how they transported them. No one got their individual cars, no one got their guards, but Biden was visiting at the same time, and this is how he was treated.
Others, including US President Joe Biden and his wife Jill, were allowed to travel in their private convoys. Many social media users were not happy about this arrangement, which was announced days ahead of the funeral.
This is what happens when you don't respect yourselves. Our leaders have proven that they are in the pocket of these leaders, Western nations specifically, and they do their bidding, they do whatever they're told. They are asked to jump and all they'll say is how high. So yeah, it makes sense why they were treated that way. But also with Zelensky and Putin, it's not just what people say. The government of the US made it very clear with many leaders, not just Trump, but with every leader or administration that comes through using their mainstream media as well, they make it sound like they don't really like Putin. At the very least, they showed us that they respect him. But Zelensky, as you saw, they did not welcome him the same way. But anyways, I thought it was an interesting contrast between how Putin and Zelensky was treated, and it also reminded me of how African leaders usually get treated in this scenario. You need to demand respect. You need to create boundaries, and that's something that African leaders have not done thus far. This is how you get treated when you don't respect yourself and your people. This treatment will continue unless someone puts a stop to it. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I'm Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.